What's up, everybody? We had an awesome PCP movie night. We watched Batman vs. Superman.
Yes, we did.
What's up, everybody? I am Rockin' Robbie Billups.
And I'm John Hammertime Holshoe.
And on behalf of Pop Culture Philosophers, this is our Batman vs. Superman movie review. That's right, we watched it. Now, there's a lot of stuff in the press right now. A lot of negative hate coming at Batman vs. Superman.
I think there's a lot of hype to live up to. So I think that maybe some people were disappointed. How could you live up to the hype? This movie's been how many years in the making?
How many years?
My whole
lifetime.
Hundreds.
Thousands.
Yes. Millions.
Eras. Eons.
Yes.
Anyway, speaking of eons, what did we think of this movie? We have been hyped up. We have been waiting for it. You know that some pop culture philosophers like Jelani haven't really been that gung-ho about it. But you know that me and John have been very excited about Batman vs. Superman. So what did we think? Well, John, I liked it. In fact, I think I loved it. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was a very good movie. I thought it had a lot of story going on. And now I'm not going to say I'm not trying to justify nothing. It's not a perfect movie. It's not the best comic book movie. I don't think it touches Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy at all, any of those three films. But it's by far not the worst comic book film. I don't think the hate is justified. The way that people are picking it apart, I don't see that. I really liked the film. I responded to it. I thought it was very mythologically sound, very fun, and pretty much everything I kind of wanted and expected. Now, it has some faults, has some missteps, some pacing issues, but overall, a great film, better than Ant-Man, in my opinion, and people love that one. Anyway, not to step on toes, but speaking of stepping on toes, John, what'd you think of the movie?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. There's definitely pacing issues, and maybe I thought there was going to be more than just the Trinity. Maybe I kind of set myself up for that. There was nothing indicating it in the trailers that we're going to see Aquaman, etc., even though they might have a small little bit there. I enjoyed it a lot. I was really impressed by, even though I was excited about Affleck being Batman and seeing the costume in the trailers, I mostly was blown away by Wonder Woman.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I did not expect to enjoy her as much as I did. I thought she was fantastic in the little bit of screen time she gets.
You know, she didn't have too much to do in the movie, but I do think that, like, when she shows up as Wonder Woman, like, that stuff was great. I really liked it. I thought that she seemed capable enough, and the character was really badass and very, very fearsome, you know, and she came in and she saved the day. And I'm really looking forward to her solo film to see how they develop that character because she didn't have a lot of character development. You know, we were talking about the cameos, and yeah, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman are seen in this film. Now, you don't get too much of them, but I will be honest with you, straight up the Aquaman bit, my heart was a-racing. You know, guys, I'm a huge Aquaman fan. Jason Momoa's Aquaman. That one little scene, I absolutely loved it. What'd you think about the Flash?
I thought it was cool. Maybe the one scene we do see with the camera footage, I was really kind of hoping for him to look more like the classic Flash from the comics as far as his actual hair and his facial hair. Mm-hmm. But I'm still excited. I was excited to see the Flash at all. Flash is one of my favorite DC characters. I've been I'm not quiet about that. I love Flash as much as probably you love Aquaman. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, right. No, not quite. No, I really liked it. That little the security footage, that was cool and all that, but like the vision that Batman has when Flash shows up and it basically tells him that you're right, but it's up to Lois. Like, don't let Lois die is basically what I think the point he's getting. I think that's Flash from the future. I don't think that's just a dream. I think that's definitely a vision from the future. Darkseid's going to rule. If Lois dies, Superman is going to join Darkseid. I don't know. A very terrible future, and I think we will see that more in an upcoming Justice League film. I don't know. But also the cyborg part, to me, dude, very disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, kind of like, whoa, guys. The movie is dark, but I think it fits the tone. I think the next movie will be hopeful because, like we said in the beginning of this video, spoiler alert, Superman dies at the end of this film. And I think that's important, and important to the, to the theme and the mythology of this movie. But now the Justice League could be a very hopeful, brighter film because now you have the resurrection of Superman. You have the arc of Batman going from dick to hero again in this movie. I really liked it. Let's go real quick. Lots of negatives about this movie, a lot of positives. What are some of your pros and cons? Let's go pros first. Me, I love the arc of Batman. I love how he goes from, he's been Batman for 20 years, Robin has died. He's seen friends come and go. People turn against him. He's gone through a lot of shit, in other words. And he's just kind of done with it, and he's jaded. He's drinking. He's sleeping around. He's not an appealing character throughout most of this movie. And in fact, one of the best things about this movie is when he starts fighting Superman, you're like, Batman, slow the fuck up. Stop being such a dick. Like, Batman usually, you're rooting for him against Superman. But in this one, I felt bad for Superman.
Yeah,
like, Batman, stop being a dick. I love Luthor in the movie. I think Superman, he didn't have too much to do, but what he did was so important to the movie. I thought Lois had a very influential part of the role, and Alfred as the consciences, the conscience of Batman and Superman. And I really liked the film. I thought it handled a lot of stuff very, very well, including world building. A lot of stuff to come, and this movie had a lot of stuff in it. I think it juggled it pretty well. And whatever you think about Lex Luthor, he's always been a little crazy. And this is a young, manic Luthor it's an origin story for Luthor as well. And I just really liked it for those things.
I enjoyed it. I'd say the pros would be, the biggest thing was there was a lot of controversy when they cast Affleck and the talk about the Daredevil. And I said, let's take a wait and see approach. Great director, great writer. He's been in some great films. He's been in some terrible films, but I like Affleck. And I want to say, showed the costume, I was really excited. Like, that looks like the comic book. Yeah. Let's do this. And then I love him as Batman. I think he did a tremendous job. Him in the costume, he is Batman. He does such a great job. He steals the show up until Wonder Woman shows up, because I didn't expect to be blown away by her. And she's in it only a little bit, but she is so badass. So yeah, I was gonna say it's not a perfect film, but there's more pros than cons. And if you're a comic book fan, if you're a Superman fan, if you're a Wonder Woman fan, if you're a Batman fan, you're gonna be thrilled.
Absolutely. And, at Pop Culture Philosophers, we don't really like to get into just bashing on a movie, but I know a lot of you guys are wanting to know, what did we hate about the movie? Me, personally, I didn't hate Doomsday. I thought Doomsday was really cool. He may be a little too big, but I didn't have a problem with the way he looked. But the way he was created, that whole, dropping Zod's body into that, pool, it was like a baptism almost, and putting his blood on it. And that was just a weird scene to me. And to me, we know Luthor has access to Kryptonian DNA. We know he's got access to their technology. This could have been in any lab. That was a weird scene. I don't know if Snyder was trying to do some kind of baptism, symbology there. I don't know. That was a little whatever. And it kind of faltered a little bit in some of its pacing just a little bit. But honestly, I thought the movie was paced very well. This movie did not feel choppy to me at all. It did not even feel like 2.5 hours. It felt to me like an hour and a half long movie. So really the only thing I can pick out about it right now is that and the bathtub scene with Lois, which was completely out of place and I get maybe what they were trying to do, but just uncalled for.
They're trying to humanize Superman to show that he's in a relationship. So I understand that. They could have done it in a different way.
They did it in different ways throughout the whole movie, in fact. Lois and Superman's story. And back, let's talk about the themes real quick. The Batman, he's jaded, 20 years. He gets over that. He becomes a hero. That's going to spark the Justice League. That's cool. But once again, we've been talking on PCP a lot about Superman and the sun gods, or the Christ-type figure thing, right? And they mention that in this movie. They mention that they need a savior. No, I don't need a savior. Who needs a savior? They go into that, and even at a certain point, Luthor is calling out all these names of these gods towards Superman, and even calls him Horus and Apollo. So it's right there, and the sacrificial gods, they die. So Superman dies at the end of this film, and once again, surely if you've made it this far, but he dies at the end of the film, and I loved it. It touched me. It made me feel more emotion than when he died initially in the comic books, and I was like 10 or 12 or something, right? 10, 11, 12. And it did kind of affect me to have Superman die. But in this movie, I felt really bad. And I think Batman moved forward, but I love the sacrificial element, the death, and the resurrection. It's coming back. Justice League is being reborn for the first time. I'm excited. What do you think about some of the themes? Superman's
so powerful. He can protect us, but also he could destroy us. So we need a way to keep him in check. So they talk about Lex Luthor wanting to build a weapon to stop Superman. They talk that they have the court and everything like that. There's definitely this whole thing where he is very powerful, and I can understand. Even in the comics, Batman has safeguards just in case, especially when him and Wonder Woman have a relationship in the New 52. I mean, he's worried about this power. So there's definitely this whole with all this power comes a lot of responsibility and well, not to be a Superman.
This isn't a Marvel film.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
just saying, and you could also ultimate power can, corrupt.
Absolutely.
And
that's
so
what
there's
Batman's
that
worried
worry.
about.
And that's
Yeah.
what Batman is worried about. And that's why he's preparing. And that brings the fight upon.
And what about a very current and very applicable theme right now in our current state of society? The polarization of the culture, of the society about Superman. You got Batman versus Superman. And think about some of the other movies. Daredevil Season 2 was Punisher versus Daredevil. We got Captain America versus Iron Man coming up. America right now is left versus right.
Yeah.
Black versus white. All kinds of division in America right now. I think our comic book films are actually trying to tell us a little bit of something. And if Batman versus Superman tells us anything, it's stop and let's work together. What did you think about the actual fight? Real quick, I just noticed we didn't actually cover the fight.
The fight is phenomenal.
The fight is great. It's 8 minutes long, and some people complain about that, but I'm like, it was 8 minutes of awesome. Batman's actually got the upper hand throughout most of the fight.
It draws a lot from The Dark Knight.
Oh, yes.
Returns.
Oh, totally.
And it's phenomenal. I love the costume. I love the grenades with is it like a powder?
Yeah,
from
like
the
a kryptonite powder or something.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Man. And especially that scene when he actually goes to punch him and he blocks that punch. And Superman's like, aw, shit.
What about the moment when he's punching on Superman and he keeps punching on him and he gets more resistant,
Yeah, Superman's power comes back. His glove breaking. Yeah.
That was so epic. The fight was so epic.
The fight is amazing.
The last fight with Doomsday was so epic. I thought Lex Luthor was epic. I really enjoyed the movie. I don't think John liked it as much as me. You had a lot of anticipation.
I think the hype was too high, and I also had too much hype for the additional characters. But the film itself, I don't have any issue with Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman. I absolutely love, no offense to Superman, but I really enjoyed Batman and Wonder Woman's screen time more.
Ben Affleck was great. I thought Superman was handled well. There was a lot of stuff going on. I think they fit it together very, very well. I think, once again, Snyder has achieved the impossible and made a good movie out of something that nobody else could have. And I really like it. I like all the cameos.
Regardless of what you think of the storyline, or you think, hey, it might be choppy here, visually, a treat. Something Snyder excels at is visual. And Batman has never been so Batman before, if that makes any sense.
It's
this
a comic
closest
book
to
movie,
comic.
and it's dark, and it's cool, and I think it's appropriate for the times that we live in. And I think it's I think it's an important film right now. I'll be honest, it's not a perfect film. It's not the best, but it's not anywhere near one of the worst, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to make excuses for it, but I actually enjoyed this film.
It was worth every penny. It's worth the cost of a ticket just to see them duke it out, because it's such a great fight. It's not the longest fight. I mean, it's called Batman vs. Superman, but it's not just the fight. And let's just clear that up. It's called Batman v Superman. So I thought it was a court case before we got there.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was going to be a court case, and I thought it'd be a very slow-paced movie, but instead there was a bunch of superhero stuff. But I did. I enjoyed the film very much, and it was worth the cost of admission, and I think it's worth seeing.
We really liked it. We know this movie is very polarizing right now, and I think this movie speaks on the polarization of Americans' culture right now. So I think it's kind of appropriate that this movie's polarizing. Let us know down below what you think about the movie. Did you like it? Did you not? Why did you like it? Why did you not? Just let us know. Let's get the conversation going down below. Thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing this video. And once again, please subscribe and check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and more. And more of these movie reaction and PCP movie nights coming very soon. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups.
I'm John Hammertime Holshoe.
And thanks for rocking with us. Catch you on the next time. Nothing?
I don't know what I was supposed to say. I had something for the end and I forgot it.
It's cool, man.